good evening, and welcome to Phenomenal Leadership. I'm your friend, Bishop-elect Edlin Scott, and really excited again to come into your homes with this powerful broadcast. Phenomenal Leadership is a program that is aired twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. It is geared towards helping you develop your leadership skills. Everybody is a leader, whether you're leading in the home, in the business place, church, wherever. If you are trying to run a house, you are a leader. And leadership is a skill that can be learned. Leadership is a skill that can be learned. So I want to encourage you to reach out to your friends, like and share as you come on in on the broadcast tonight. Like and share. Got an absolutely beautiful program for you tonight. Really beautiful program for you tonight. We're talking about what can I do without talent? What can I do without talent? And I'm sure many of you out there tonight, kind of like me, I used to look at life from the perspective of having a good talent. You know, when it came to singing, compared myself with people. When it came to athletics, compared myself with people. And so many things that I thought those folks did are not people like me. And so I quickly eliminated myself out of a lot of things because I didn't think that I was athletically or I didn't have the talent to show up there. But tonight on the broadcast, got something sweet for you. What can you do that requires no talent? What can you do that requires no talent? I was listening to John Maxwell, and in listening to John Maxwell, I heard him begin to talk about this, some things that requires no talent. While I was in India, I talked about salt and light. On two different occasions, I talked about salt and light. And in talking about salt and light, I shared with them, no matter how much salt you get, no matter how much salt God gives you that night or whenever time you refill, if you empty it all out on somebody, He'll give you some more. And no matter how much light you shine, God still gives you some more of that light. And we're going to discover tonight that there are at least 5 things that you can do that you don't need to have dollar worth of talent. You don't need 0 talent. And you're going to be able to display them, do them, share them, and you don't need no talent. So I want you to go ahead, reach out to your friends, and tell them, like and share. But Pastor Scott is talking tonight about 5 things that you can do that requires absolutely no talent. Don't care how tall you are, don't care how short you are. Whether you came from a singing family or not, don't matter. And it requires no talent. No talent, absolutely no talent. So good evening, everyone. Good to have you all joining us. Minister Alex, good to have you joining us. Judy from Miami, good to have you joining us. Erica, good to have you joining us. Chantel, good to have you. Minister Roberta, good to have you in the service tonight. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for this big topic? Are you ready for this big topic? And I'm sure by now, most of your heads are buzzing with, what is it, Pastor Scott, that I could do that requires 0 talent? Because you would figure in life, boy, look here, you need some kind of talent for pretty much most things that you need to do in life. All right, let's jump right into it. Let's jump right into it. Number one, the number one or the first thing that you could do that requires zero talent is be teachable. Be teachable. No matter what someone has to offer. If you're not interested in it, it really means absolutely nothing to you. Everyone can show interest in learning, interest in knowing. So, being a teachable person requires absolutely no level of talent whatsoever. You know, most of the successful people that we know in life have some kind of talent, so we figure, oh, that only happening for them because of their talents that they have. But being teachable. A person that doesn't listen is also a person that is not teachable. Because if you don't value it and you don't want to hear it, then no matter how good it is, it's not going to get across to you. And a teachable person is someone that wants to grow, that wants to expand, that wants to be better. And every teachable moment that you have, you must make that absolute best of it. Make the absolute best of it. Maximize every teachable moment that you have. All right? So, being a teachable person requires you to have no talent whatsoever. Just be willing to learn. Be willing to position yourself to receive. All right? Now, the second thing, I got 5 of them for you tonight, that doesn't require no kind of talent whatsoever. The second thing is to be incentivized. In other words, no matter what kind of dream you have, if you don't have the incentive to want to start, you'll never start. Anything that needs to be done, if you are not incentivized to get it started, get it done, it's not going to happen. There's a Chinese proverb that says, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. You have to be incentivized. You gotta, there gotta be something in you to tell you, move, go, do something, and move in a little different direction. So, number one, gotta be teachable. You gotta be teachable. Number two, you gotta be incentivized. There are some people that they don't get into gear. They don't get moving unless someone tells them. But it requires no gift. It requires no gift whatsoever. Watch this. Could you imagine, I am sitting on one end of a boat and you're sitting on the other end of the boat. There's a hole in the boat where you're sitting. So I'm watching the water come in the boat. So I'm sitting down and I'm saying, hey, both of us in the same boat. Boy, I'm so glad that hole is on the end where you're sitting, because we feel like it's not going to bother me on the other end. Trust me, if we're on the same boat, that boat, all of the boat going underwater. Now, where they're sitting may go under first, but eventually where I'm sitting is going to go under also. A lot of people are not incentivized because they feel like it ain't gonna bother them. But trust me, sooner or later, it'll come to you. So take the initiative. You don't need no special talent to want to do some stuff. Because no matter how big them dream is, if you don't start, it will never get started on its own. So, the third thing that needs no talent, no talent. You ain't got to be tall, you can be short, none whatsoever. Is passion. Passion. Passion is the fire in you. The fire in you. Now, there are two types of people that you got to watch out for when you have this passion. There are two types of people you got to look out for. Number one, you definitely want to align yourself with fire starters or fire makers or fire creators. But you definitely want to watch out for firefighters. What are the firefighters? Firefighters are the people who come in your space and you could do 10 good things, but their emphasis will never be on those 10 good things. They'll be talking about one bad thing that you've done. Firefighters are the ones who you'll outline a great idea, and they will be the one who comes up and they'll say, oh boy, that's a great idea, but watch out for those ones that will put out your passion. So you don't need nothing. You don't need nothing to just have this strong urge to want to do something. Everyone has that fire burning within us. I was talking to a mechanic yesterday. And he said to me, he said, boy, I don't know how y'all pastors make it. So y'all just got patience, and he lined out a whole bunch of things. And so I'm thinking, I say, a mechanic think a pastor have patience? I think a man who's deal with all them bolts all day. If I open my hood right now, my car hood, and I look inside there, I will just close it back down because it's just too much things to try to figure out. So I said to him, I said, boy, I said, I think it's hard for you to say that because I think it's really all about your passion, because if you have enough to take all of those bolts out of this engine and take all those bolts and put it back in the engine and get it up and going, you may have more patience than a pastor. You got to be passionate. There's got to be a fire that's lit on the inside of you. Last week I went to an old lady house. She's about 80 years old. So I went to visit with her, had a little small service, and I served her the Lord's Supper. And so I told her I was coming out of the house for 7 o'clock. And she said to me, you got to get there before 9, because at 9 o'clock, every night at 9 o'clock, I pray. Every night, I pray at 9 o'clock. And so when I got there, she kept watching her thing. So I said, don't worry, I'm going to be finished before 9 o'clock so that you can do what it is that you're passionate about. At 80 years old, she still has that fire to want to pray at 9 o'clock. A lot of times, we don't do things that keep that fire alive. You got to keep that fire alive, because it doesn't require any special gifting. It doesn't require any special talent. You just got to keep alive that thing that keeps you alive, that passion that keeps you alive, keep your fire going. The other thing that number 4 that doesn't require any talent is courage. Courage. So being courageous does not require any talent. None whatsoever. You could be anybody. Courage is knowing that if I take the lead, I am going to become a target for people, but I ain't scared. It is the right thing to do. Courage is knowing if I stand up for something, people ain't going to like me. People going to challenge it, but hey, it's the right thing to do. Let me give you another example of courage. Courage is knowing that when you do the right thing, it's gonna expose you for the many wrong things that you've been doing. But courage is, hey, look, the right thing is the best thing to do, even if it makes me look bad. You know, like, a lot of people think that apologies, they don't do it because it makes them look bad. But you have to have the courage to apologize, even if it makes you look bad. And being able to apologize doesn't take no kind of talent. Absolutely no talent. I say to people all the time, I say, it is cheaper to apologize than to buy a gift. You ever thought about that? Some people will go and buy a big basket of flowers or cologne to take to their spouse, when it's just simple to say sorry. Sorry. Courage. Takes nothing from you. It's very easy to do. And you don't have to have no talent to be courageous. And then finally, you don't have to have talent to encourage people. Everywhere you go in life, someone needs some level of encouragement. The one thing people lack, the one thing this world lack, is encouragers. People who just encourage people. You could always find someone to pull someone down. You could always find someone to have something to say about someone. But you could find very few people that will encourage. And even when you find people who encourage people, they be like, let's just say someone walk in the office and they have a nice dress on, or they have on a nice suit. The average person will just say, hey, nice suit, or you look nice. And even though that's some encouragement, but add something to it and make it stick. You know, something like, hey, that blue suit really looks good on you. Blue must be your color. You know, add a little something to the story as you encourage. Because, you remember I said the other day, people ain't gonna forget, or it's harder for them to forget the person that encouraged them. Hard. Very hard to forget the person that encouraged them. I had the opportunity today. I was talking with somebody that was very instrumental in me getting into computer repairs, and I can't forget them. Now, their style is quite different from my style. Things they do, I probably would never do, right? But yet, I still can't forget the fact that they gave me my start in that area. I alluded to the other day, I talked about Dr. Paul Kreitz that opened the door for me in the area of leadership and helped me to get a higher level of education. Thank God for it. When I came to Nassau from the family island, I live in Andros, and at that point, I was great at catching crab or fishing. And then Apostle Wallace opened a door for me and gave me an opportunity. and my life just changed. My first trip to Miami, the person that took me to Miami was somebody that nobody liked. His name was Norman. And everyone said Norman was crazy, but Norman was smart enough to take me to Miami. And he took me to Miami. We stayed with his relatives. I mean, it was just really a good trip. And he introduced me to his family, and I was able to go to his family every other time I wanted to go to Miami. And I was like a teenager then. I was about 13 or 14. Yeah, but there are things that you don't forget. What people do for you. People always can use encouragement because people are always feeling bad about themselves. People don't need you adding to their stress. People always already down there, so they need you to add to it. So people always looking for some word or some level of encouragement. And so you don't need to be a great athlete. You don't need no talent. You don't need to be able to sing like some of the great singers or perform like some of the great performers to be an encourager. You could just say nice things because every one of us know it. There's no one that only know bad words. You know both words. It's just a choice which one of them you take. So let's quickly run over it. Number one, among the 5 things that you need to that you can do that doesn't require a talent. Be a teachable person. Be a teachable. Be willing to listen. Be willing to learn. Be willing to expand. Show interest in different areas. Be able to listen. If you have a leader that's not a listener, they are not teachable. And as a leader, you are always learning. Always. You don't never stop learning. You know why? Because you don't know everything. Be teachable. Be incentivized. Have passion. Be courageous. And encourage people. Encourage people. Well, that's me for the night. That's me for the night. So, we talked about what can I do that doesn't require a talent. What can I do without a talent? You don't need no kind of talent to be teachable, to be incentivized, have that little get up and go, have a passion, have that fire in you, be courageous, willing to stand up, and to encourage people. No talent is required for that. Well, this has been your friend, Bishop-elect Edlin Scott, and this has been another session of Phenomenal Leadership. You can catch me again on this coming Thursday at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, we'll have another session for you. Well, good evening. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, we love you. May God's richest blessings be upon you.